Hello and welcome to my review of the Chaos Knights Knight Desecrator. One of these knights will cost you £90 and consists of 119 components. Now, just because it is cheaper than a standard Imperial Knight, you know, the Canis Rex box set, which would cost you £95, don't be under the impression that it offers you an amazing amount of value. One of two Chaos Knights with this box set, either the Desecrator, which I've built, you can replace the Thunderstrike Gauntlet there with a Reaper Chainsword, or the Knight Rampager, which is identical to the Knight Gallant for Imperial Knights, whereby it's just equipped with the Thunderstrike Gauntlet and the Reaper Chainsword. We'll have a closer look at the model and the detail. We'll look at all of the spare parts, we'll go through some size comparisons, and then we'll top off this video with a lovely little review of its rules. Now, we'll be using the rules from the 2019 Chaos Knights Codex. So how well did the model go together? Well, if you've built an Imperial Knight before, there are a couple of little extras, but if you've built one before, this is going to be very familiar territory. So let's start off with the weapons. Now, I've got the Thunderstrike Gauntlet. There is a little bit of a difference here. The main difference really is the talons. It has a couple of extra claws on its on the back of its hand, and also it's got three claws for the fingers and then one for the thumb. You can pose them in a number of ways and have them fully outstretched or whatever. Oh yeah, well, that probably will happen from time to time in this review. The shield is the shield is different. It has some human skulls on there. The base head is different. The stubber is the same. The front armor plate is the same. The feet are different. You know, the toes are different. It's got an extra joint in there, which you could technically use for Imperial Knights if you didn't mind having these claws on the toes. Obviously, the downside is you're not going to get an Imperial set of shoulder pauldrons and carapace. So for a full Imperial Knight with these extra joints, with its right foot forward instead of the typical left, you're going to have to pick up you know, both this kit and the original one, and then you're asking yourself, although you're going to have a huge number of spare parts, you're asking yourself, is it really worth paying double just to get a slightly different pose? I personally don't think it is. But you know, you may have already made that decision. You get the Turbo Laser Destructor, which is a lovely weapon. I think the barrel is quite small, but at the end of the day, it's not a ballistic weapon. It is a laser with the big laser banks there. It's got a very chaosified shielding. The shoulder pauldrons have got spikes, and it's actually quite spiky and prickly to hold. If you're a Chaos player, you're used to this kind of thing. It's just me having my Imperial moaning. The back face of the Knight is exactly the same, nothing else is going on. So really it's the knee joints, the weapons themselves, the shoulder pauldrons, the carapace, the front shield, and the head that has been changed from the typical Imperial Knight kit. So yes, it went together pretty well. You can magnetize these if you wish. I've left them not glued. I think I might glue mine at some stage, but at the moment I've just left it so that I can decide on the pose that I want it in. Yeah, there we go. And it's also easier for me to spray. I can take the pauldrons off, I can take the arms off, I can take the carapace off even, and just spray it as it is, and then paint these all separately. I think I will be painting it in the word bearer's colours. I think that deep red with the metallic armour edges will look very nice, and it will just fit the army. Okay, so that's the Chaos Knight. Let's have a look at the spare parts. So these are all the spare parts that you get. As you can see, you get this Reaper chainsword. I suppose you could use that on a normal Imperial Knight, but it does look very chaosified. I do like the cutouts of the blade though. Nice detail. The exhausts for the power plant look, again, very chaosified, or even you could say religious, very religious, but you know, you can see that it's all been jumbled together rather than the clean, efficient look of the normal knights. Speaking of normal knights, there's a normal knight hood that hasn't changed. I would have liked to have seen that chaosified. You've got this flag banner thing which will go on there. I'm not sure whether to put it on there. I think I will. The armor plates for the shins are chaosified, and so are the thigh armor plates. The chest armor plate looks really cool. It's a bit like a rib cage. So you've got 3 face plates, so that means you've got 4 looks to the knight. You can either go with the bare faced head, or you can glue one of these. I think I might go for this one with the screaming kind of metal skull. That's probably my favourite out of these, although I do like this one. I may get a second one in the future, but at the moment it's probably quite unlikely unless they invest more into the Chaos Knight range to tempt me back, because if I was to get another one, it wouldn't look that much different. It would still have the Thunderstrike gauntlet, probably a different face plate, but the rest of it would be the same, and instead of the turbo laser it would have the Reaper chainsword. You've got these spikes and chains which I'm yet to kind of glue on. I think one attaches to the shoulder pauldron, so that's why I've left it off along with the chains as well. You've got some icons that you can put there instead of that skull one, and that's pretty much it for the spare parts. Not a huge number of spare parts, nowhere near the total number of spare parts that you get for £5 more for the normal Imperial Knight. And if looking for spare parts is the way to go and you just want to chaosify your knight, it might be worth paying the extra £5 and getting those extra sprues and then just chaosifying your knight itself. Unless you're like me, who doesn't do an awful lot of kit bashing and just wants a Chaos Knight out of the box. Okay, size comparisons. Well, I've brought a few Chaos models along, including Abaddon and a Lord Discordant, as well as a Chaos Space Marine. So that's where he kind of measures up near these units. He will dwarf a lot of things on the battlefield in the 40k range. He is a knight after all, and yes, you can have a full army of them if you so choose. But if you're wanting to add some more power and long range support to your Chaos Space Marines, this is definitely a great option. It is Knight Month after all, so what better place to do a size comparison with a load of other knights from my loyalist force. So here is a Knight Moirax. You could chaosify the Moiraxes with the scrap code and things if you wished, but yeah, that just gives you an idea of how big Chaos Knight is next to a much smaller like War Dog. This is an Imperial Knight that I painted many years ago, so they are similar kind of size. If anything, I'd probably say that the Chaos Knight's a bit more intimidating and just a tiny bit taller because of the spikes and the chains and everything else that's going on, but in all intents and purposes they're the same. And then if we just compare it to a Knight Lancer, then you get to see just how big one of these Cerastus Knights is next to the Chaos Knight. Bearing in mind that the Lancer there is double the price of the plastic Chaos Knight. Now I've kind of done a size comparison with a Space Marine size character, but what good of a review would it be if I didn't show you the usual 3 suspects? We have the Primaris Space Marine on the right, the normal Space Marine in the middle, and then Sly Marbo on the left. Yes, a Primaris barely even touches the kneecap of one of these knights. And for the final part of my review, I will go through all of the Chaos Knights Desecrators rules using the 2019 Chaos Knights Codex. So as I've already touched upon the other options in the Chaos Knights Codex, the War Dog, the Knight Despoiler, the Knight Tyrant, this Knight Desecrator, the Knight and the Knight Rampager. So the Questoris sized knights would be the Despoiler, this Desecrator and the Rampager. The Knight Tyrant is a Dominus class sized knight, similar in the same size as the Castellan, and the War Dog is an Armiger class knight. So the Desecrator, it's a Lord of War and it's a power points cost of 23. It's a points cost of 385 points, making it one of the most expensive Chaos Knights. It's 100 points more than the Despoiler. It's 80 points more than the Despoiler with the Reaper Chainsword and Thunderstrike Gauntlet. It's 65 points more than the Rampager. It's more than double the points of a War Dog, but it is 115 points cheaper than a Tyrant. So the Desecrator then, it's one of these units whereby its remaining wounds affects the rest of its stats. So it starts off with 24 wounds, and if it has between 13 and 24, its movement speed is 12 inches, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+. If the wounds are between 7 and 12, the movement speed drops to 9 inches, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 4+. And when it's on its last 1 to 6 wounds, the movement speed drops to 6 inches, weapon skill 5+, and ballistic skill 5+. The rest of its stat line is as follows: strength 8, toughness 8, 24 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 3+. It's a single model equipped with a heavy stubber, laser destructor, Reaper Chainsword, and Titanic feet. The war gear options: the model can be equipped with 1 Thunderstrike Gauntlet instead of 1 Reaper Chainsword. So the heavy stubber works the same as on the other Imperial Knights. It's a range 36 inch, heavy 3, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. You're not going to be winning any wars with it, but it's an alright number of shots from a decent range. The Laser Destructor, which is the main reason why you'll pick this model up, is a nice 60 inch range, heavy D3, so probability you're going to get 2 or more shots with that. It's a strength 14, AP -4, and a damage of D6. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, a wound roll of 6+ inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target in addition to any other damage. It's quite a small chance, but it's a nice little added bonus. The Reaper Chainsword works the same as the Imperial Knights one, so it's a strength +6, so that's strength 14, AP -3, and a damage straight up of 6. The Thunderstrike Gauntlet doubles the strength to 16, AP -4, and a damage of 6. And when resolving an attack made with this weapon, subtract 1 from the hit roll. When a vehicle model or monster model is destroyed as a result of an attack made with this weapon, select 1 enemy unit within 9 inches of the bearer and roll 1d6. On a 4+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So that's nice. It can basically pick up a unit and hurl it at another unit. I like the fact that it's strength 16. I like the fact that it's better armor penetration than the Chainsword. What I don't like, obviously, is you're having to subtract 1 from the hit rolls, and when you've only got 4 attacks, yeah, you pretty much got a 50-50 chance of hitting anything in combat, which is why it's better to shoot things from afar with the Laser Destructor. The Titanic feet work as usual, so strength of the user, which is 8, AP -2, and damage D3, and you make 3 hit rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1. So that's nice. You could have 12 attacks with the Titanic feet there. Abilities: Iron Shield. This model has a 5+ invulnerable save against attacks made with ranged weapons. Another reason to keep it out of combat. Explodes. When this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 before removing it from play. On a 6 it explodes, and each unit within 2d6 suffers d6 mortal wounds. Taskmaster. Reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made by models in a friendly Questor, Traitoris, War Dog units whilst they are within 6 inches of this model. I'm not a big fan of things that have to be within 6 inches, but it's nice that you're getting re-rolling the hit rolls. But typically War Dog's weapon skill is 3+ anyway, so they shouldn't have too much of an issue. Super Heavy Walker. This model can shoot and charge in a turn in which it fell back. When this model falls back, it can move across enemy infantry models and swarm models as if they were not there, though it must end its move more than 1 inch away from all enemy models. This model does not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. This model does not receive the benefit of cover to its saving throws unless at least half of the model is obscured from the point of view of the model making the attack. Keywords: Chaos, Chaos Knights, Questor Traitoris, Titanic Vehicle, Abhorrent Class, Knight Desecrator. So there you go. That's all the rules. It's quite a strong unit. Yes, it's pricey. It's almost 400 points. But the main reason what you're paying that much is its survivability. It's got decent 3+ and a 5+ and vulnerable. You're paying for the damage output with the laser destructor and its speed. You know, it can move 12 inches and can do a fair bit of damage in close combat with both its feet and the gauntlet. Of course, the other option you can take is the Rampager, which just gives you 1 extra attack and the access to the Reaper Chainsword as well. This Desecrator, you could swap that Thunderstrike Gauntlet and have the Reaper Chainsword and have no penalties to your attack rolls. However, you're missing out on the extra strength, on the extra armor penetration, and the ability to cause D3 mortal wounds on a 4+. The other option again for this Questora Praetoris class is the Knight Despoiler. It pretty much involves you picking one of the Imperial Knights and equipping it with the Avenger Gatling Cannon or the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, the Thermal Cannon, and the other and the melee weapons. You can give it a Rapid Fire Battle Cannon instead of the Thunderstrike Gauntlet. You can give it a Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, and instead of the Reaper Chainsword, you can also give it a Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, and you can have multiples of those weapons. So you could stomp around with 2 Avenger Gatling Cannons, 2 Thermal Cannons, 2 Rapid Fire Battle Cannons, whatever you like to roll. I mean, whatever takes your fancy. And yeah, running around at 12 inches with potentially 24 strength 8 AP -2 shots at 72-inch range with effective range of 84 inches is yeah, it can be quite scary. So yeah, you can go for a full Dakar Chaos Knight if you wish. I think I've covered most things with the review. As always, I try my best, and if there is anything I've missed out, please don't hesitate to either correct me or add your suggestions and comments down below. What do you guys think of this Chaos Knight Desecrator? I've been meaning to get one for a long time. I did purchase this over a year ago, and I finally managed to get round to doing a review of it. Like myself, do you agree that Games Workshop should have invested more into the Chaos Knights release rather than just one kit? I 100% take that view, and I sorely wish if they weren't able to bring out more kits for Chaos Knights, to at least bring out upgrade sprues and extra parts, maybe get Forge World to make those parts, to change this existing kit, or the other Cerastus sized knights, because I think that's what's lacking sorely, both Dark Mechanicum and Chaos versions of Titans and Knights. It's severely lacking, and I wish that they explored those creative avenues that they have available to them. Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below as always. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Death to the False Emperor.